So I haven't played Sonic Unleashed for what feels like years, and after returning to it in the year 2025, I realized my opinion on the game has completely changed from what it was before. Recently, Sonic Unleashed has gotten ported to the PC, although not in the way that would seem like the most traditional way of doing things. So what happened is this random YouTube video got uploaded, and it basically just gave you a step-by-step tutorial of how to play an enhanced version of Sonic Unleashed on the PC. But Sonic Unleashed Recompiled was a perfect excuse to revisit Sonic Unleashed and really just see how my opinion might have changed since I first played it. So I would say that for the longest time, Sonic Unleashed to me was like daytime stages, awesome, you know, breath of fresh air. I really love these, you know, the game should have been daytime stages entirely. And then the Werehog, unnecessary addition. I don't know what this is doing here. This is a Sonic game, you know, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, you've heard a whole shebang already. I pretty much share that opinion too as well. Although I never hated the Werehog per se, I would just say that it was an unnecessary part of Unleashed and the game really did not need it. But playing this game in 2025, years after I last touched it, which I don't know, could have been like maybe 2022 or something, who really knows at this point, I have to say, my opinion on the game is a little different than what I've been saying it was. So I think the best way to kind of dive into what my opinion is to just kind of dive into the two main gameplay styles. So the first one I'm going to talk about is the Werehog. Okay, so the Werehog is a very controversial addition about Sonic Unleashed, because I would say if there's anything about Sonic Unleashed that really aged well in this day and age, it is the fact that the game feels massive. It feels like a whole ass adventure. It feels like a game bigger than itself. The worldly like structure of the game, how you're traveling from each part of the planet to put it back together, it truly makes this feel like a huge and epic adventure, even if the narrative side isn't as strong as like previous Sonic games. But another reason the game feels as huge as it is because a large portion of the game comes from this gameplay style, the Werehog. And so alternative gameplay styles Sonic games tried because they didn't think the classic Sonic gameplay was enough to sustain a game. And for as long as I can remember, I always thought the Werehog levels were completely unnecessary and were way too long and dragged out for far too long, and that there wasn't a lot to really glean from them. Returning to this game in 2025 and playing the Werehog levels again, I was actually kind of shocked at how the levels really didn't feel like they dragged as much as they used to. A lot of these levels will take like maybe 15 to 20 minutes, and that does seem like a lot of time, but when I was playing the game, it truly didn't feel like a lot of time at all. In fact, it felt like it was just, you know, the equivalent to playing like a daytime stage a few times over. So not only has my opinion on the Werehog levels changed, my opinion on the daytime levels have also changed. So, okay, let me start. Before we get anywhere,